Hi students. In previous class, we have discussed about installing virtual environment, then creating the project, then creating the creating the application. So all these we have discussed. So today we'll continue with the other options like installing Sublime, and then after that we'll discuss about files in the project, files in the application, then way to write the code. Like all these, we are going to discuss. And working with virtual environment and all, yesterday I've told very clearly. So if you are registered for the course, then I will send you the recorded videos and notes to your mail IDs so that you can practice. And yesterday we have created the project virtual environment, all this. Like if you want me to repeat, I'll repeat that. Then we'll go to next. So in D drive, that folder is created. So here you can see source is there, source folder. And here you can see my env, virtual environment. And the project one is created. So I'm deleting this. Physically, we can delete. So now using command prompt. So your CD source, like first we have to create virtual environment. No? So first D drive. So in D drive, Python 3932 is there, and scripts folder is there. Okay, so here based on the version we use, here the folder name will change. And the scripts folder, here we have to install this. Like here pip install virtual env. So this is a tool or software used to install, create virtual environments. In my system, it will show requirement already satisfied. So now moving to the location where to install the software, all this virtual, creating virtual environment. So in D drive, I'm creating make directory, and here I'll say source. So creating directory, entering into the new directory, CD source is given. And after entering into this, here I'll create virtual environment. So here I'll say virtual env, my env is given. Folder name you can change, virtual environment name you can change. They are not fixed. You can change. And here I'll say so entering into virtual environment, my env slash scripts, then activate is given. Scripts, then activate. So now like this will enter into virtual environment. And after this, here I'll write so here I'll say pip install Django. So 3.1.4. So to see the latest version, here I'm using djangoproject.com. So here we can see the version. Here you can see pip install Django 3.1.4 is there. So that we are going to use. If I write pip install Django, it will install latest version only. So now here, after installing this, to know what all softwares packages are installed, Python packages. So pip freeze. So it will show like this. So after installing Django, we can create project. So Django admin, then start project. Project 1 is given. So Django admin command will work only after installing Python. After installing Django, it will work. So start project is the command here. Project 1 means any name we can give. And here I'll say cd project 1, entering into the project, Django project. Then py manage.py start app website 1. So here when we say py manage.py, here py is called Python launcher and manage.py is the file in the project. Okay, it is the project level file. It is used to create application. Application means website. And it is used to manage applications to run the web server. Manage.py is used. So startup website 1 I'm using. For easy understanding, I'm saying project 1, website 1 like this. So now like this it is created. And to work with this project, we can use a different IDs are available here. We can use the required ID, we can use it. So here we can use IDs for to work with Django. ID means integrated development environment. And here we are using Sublime text we are using here. I'm using Sublime. And if you are already using PyCharm, you can continue with that. Komodo is there, Atom is there, Eclipse is there. All these are available. All these we can use it. So if here the difference between editors and IDs is IDs will allow us to work with multiple files, with multiple projects, and with different languages also, not only one language. So not only with Python. So we can work with other languages also. That possibility is there. So to install Sublime, so here we have to use this URL. So this URL we have to use. So here I'm giving like this, www.sublimetext.com/3 is given. So like this we have to type. And then here it will give like this. Some options it is giving. So Windows 64-bit, also available as portable version is there. This we are selecting. Windows 64-bit. So exe file download is over. So now go to downloads folder. Here you can see this. So when you double click on this, it will ask for the options. Like it will ask where to install. So by default, it is installed in C drive program files. So installation is easy. Double click on it, where it will ask next, then finish. So then installation will over. After installing this, then go to search, and here we'll use Sublime. In a search, I'm typing Sublime. Then it will show this application. Right click on this, open file location. So here when we go to the file location here, you can see the shortcut here. Shortcut which is created in this particular location. So now I want this shortcut on the desktop. Right click. then send to desktop create shortcut. So like this we'll select, right click, send to desktop create shortcut. Then here we'll get icon like this on the desktop here. So like this we'll get icon. Sublime text 3 it is giving. So double click on this. So when I double click on this here, after double click, so file open folder. File open folder, then D drive, then source, project 1. Like this we have to select the project what we have created now. So select a folder. Here select a folder button is there. Click on this. So here you can see the hierarchy here. The files in the folder and also the files in the website. Website means application. So one website, one project can have any number of applications, any number of websites can be there. And here you can see project 1 is there here. This project 1 is having another project with the same name. Like main folder, we can say subfolder. So with same name, 2 are created here. Okay. So in this, we are giving underscore pi cache is given underscore. So the use of this is whenever you want to store website related information, then we can store in that particular folder. We can store here, and then here you can see here init.py is there. So to use a folder as a package, then we have to use underscore init underscore we have to give. So to use any folder as package, we have to use that. So this file can be empty or it can have lines also. Some statements we can give. So by default, it is empty only. And next one is ASGI is there. Like ASGI means asynchronous. Here gateway interface is there here. So asynchronous gateway interface means this file is introduced in Python Django 3.0. In old versions, it is not there. In Django 3.0, it is introduced. And now we are using this. Like whenever you work with asynchronous requests and responses, then ASGA file is used. Okay. So the use of this is when we are creating websites. Like when we are creating pages in the website, the pages can be AJAX enabled, or without AJAX also we can use it. So AJAX means asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So it is a specification, or it contains some set of standards that all the web technologies or markup languages should follow. So AJAX is introduced in 2005. In 2005, AJAX is introduced. So in AJAX we can see 4 types here. Okay, like JavaScript AJAX, Microsoft AJAX. Microsoft AJAX works with some plugins, some files. And next one is ASP.NET AJAX is there, used in .NET. And jQuery AJAX is there. In jQuery also we can use AJAX. Okay, all these are there. So when we are creating web pages in the website, so we can implement AJAX functionality. Let us say you are developing a website, and you consider that in the pages you are not using AJAX functionality. So if AJAX functionality is not given, then what will happen is when you submit the page, like login page or registration page or any page, then the whole page will go as a request, like with data, user interface, like includes advertisements, images, some other data, like the complete page will go as request. Okay, for every user, if a page is going as request, then network resources will be busy and there is more burden on the server, then execution will be slow because it should take page as a request. Okay, so and with this when server gives a response, let us say server is giving the response, so we'll get a page as the response from the server. Like first time we'll get a page, any page, like we'll get the page. So after getting the page, if you want to update some portions of the page, Like if you want to change the advertisement, or if you want to change the images, if you want to change the panel which shows advertisements with into mark for closing, like whenever you want to show all this, see, after opening the website, like after opening the home page or index page, lot of contents will change automatically. The advertisement will not be the same, or images will not be the same, content will change, panels will change, all these will change. Okay, after loading the page in the browser, after getting the page in the browser, then if anything is changing, then before what is to happen is server is to update the server is to reload the page for many times, for every 3 seconds or 5 seconds. Server is to reload the page in browser, so that we can get the updated information. Okay, so server is to update for every 3 seconds or 5 seconds to change the information in the page. Like if for every user, if a page is reloading, then there is more burden on the server, then execution is slow, like all these drawbacks are there. So without AJAX functionality in web pages, what will happen? Page will go as request and will get page as response. So this is a burden to the server. So to avoid this, to overcome this, we are using AJAX functionality in the web pages. So in Django websites, in other websites, we are going to use AJAX in the web pages. So when we implement AJAX functionality in the web pages, then what will happen is like we'll send only the data as request. Like if login page is there, if registration page is there, so whole page will not send as request, only data like username and password, only 2 values. Registration means let us say only 5 values. So the whole page will not go. Then in that case, what will happen? If only 1 2 values are going to the server, then less data will transfer in network, then less burden on the server, and execution is also fast. Okay, so in this case, we are using AJAX functionality, and after the page is displayed, let us say we got a home page or index page. After the page is displayed, if the page is having AJAX functionality, reloading concept will not be there. Page will not reload from the server for many times. So what will happen? Using AJAX functionality, server can update some portions of the page. Server can update some parts of the page directly in the browser. Okay, if you want to change advertisement, advertisement will change. If a image wants to be changed, if a panel wants to be changed, if some other data wants to be changed, server will not send the page. Server will update some portions of the page, some parts of the page directly in the browser. So with this, what will happen? What the data is going as request, the data is coming as response, not pages. Then the website will works very fast. So we can see very good performance. So for this, ASGA file is used, asynchronous gateway interface. And here you can see settings.py is there. So settings.py is Python file. So it is used to specify like what files to access, like images, then CSS files, image files. Whenever you want to access all this, we have to specify in settings.py, image files, then CSS files, and then we are using the like a media files, audio video files, then we have to specify here. And then in this we can see the installed apps here. Settings.py will show what are the applications which are installed. As I said before, Django project or Django is fully loaded with all the features. So in this project, in project 1, we are having our website. We are having our application website 1. Website 1 is my application, what I've created. So along with website 1, we can see 6 applications here. Like websites, admin is there, authentication is there, content types, sessions, messages, static files, all these are there. All these we can, all these will be using it. So these will work, these will perform their task, like admin authentication. So they will do it. So like if everything is loaded automatically, then no need to write programs for implementing all this. Okay. So along with our application, 6 applications, 6 websites are loaded into the project. And here you can see middleware services are there. So middleware services means they are Python programs, and they are executed while sending the request, and while getting the response they are executed. So when we are sending the request, then if I want to enable security, or if I want to enable session, or if I want to add a slash to the URL we are using, if I want to add a slash at the end for the address, then we can do all this. So middleware services can do many other tasks. I'm just telling what they'll do. Only one, two options I'm telling. So middleware services are Python programs, and they are executed while sending the request. And when we get the response, they'll execute. Like they will enable security options. They'll enable CSRF security, cross-site request forgery. They will enable state management, session management to store information. Like many other options they'll do. Okay, so in my classes, I'll tell how to create a middleware service, then how to use while sending the request, and while then we'll see how to use while getting the response. Response is some other page, but middleware service will do some other tasks like this, like what I said. And in settings.py, we are going to specify the templates here. Templates location, like templates means HTML files. Like when we are creating HTML files and when we are using it, then we should specify where the HTML files are located, in which folder they are existing. And then in Django project, default database is SQLite database. Okay, that is the default database. Here you can see database is default, and here you can see engine, then Django DB dot backends, then SQLite is given here. SQLite is given. So here we are giving key and value pairs here. Like students may be having a doubt like why we are using flower brackets, because in Python we'll not use, but in a dictionary we'll use. Like when you work with key like set and dictionary, we'll use a flower brackets. So within flower brackets we'll give key and value. The same thing we are giving here. So in settings.py, I can create a list variable. I can create a dictionary. We can do that. Here you can say default colon, then engine, then Django DB backends SQLite is given. So this is the package we are using here. This is the package, Python package. Package is a collection of modules. And here you can see name base directory. About base directory we'll see later. And slash db.sqlite3. Okay, so db.sqlite3 means it is the database file that is created when we run the server. So in every Django project, if a default database is SQLite, okay, SQLite database is similar to other databases like Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL. It is another database, but SQLite database is simple and it is easy to maintain. So it is easy for using. And here in this database file, db.sqlite3, we can create any number of tables. So we can store the tables related to installed apps, and we can store the tables related to like website one also. Okay, all the tables related to all the applications, 6 applications and website one applications or website will store in this. Okay, and if you want to use a MySQL or Oracle or SQL Server, their package name will change, and we'll get other options like a name, then username, password, localhost, like other options we'll get. And here, like all these are given here in settings.py. We are going to define all this. Like here we are going to show here we are going to specify like accessing templates, HTML files, CSS files, image files, media files, and then specifying like what are the installed apps here, middleware services, database connections. All these we are using. And here you can see urls.py is there. So here when we say urls.py, so URLs means uniform resource locators. So these are used to specify like which page to access, which page to access. So in urls.py, will give URL pattern. That URL pattern is given in the browser. When we give URL pattern in the browser, then the related page is executed, or related page we can see in the browser. And here you can see path admin is there. Here you can see Django contrib, then admin is given. So here we are accessing admin site, which is already installed in this project, admin site. And here Django URLs, then path is given. So in Django urls.py is there. In urls.py, path function is there. That function we are using. Okay. And here you can see URLs, URL pattern square brackets. Square brackets means a list. Then here you can say path admin, then admin.site.urls. So admin is a URL pattern. This I have to type in browser. When I type admin, then urls.py in admin site is executed. Then it will show the pages in admin site. So admin.site.urls means when we type admin in browser, then it will open urls.py. It will access urls.py in admin site. That is accessed. Okay. So when I give examples, then it will be clear to you. And here you can see WSEA is there. WSEA means a web server, then gateway interface is there. So this is also Python file. This is used when we are taking the project from development system to production system. So when you learn web hosting, we are going to discuss web hosting. So when we do web hosting or when we publish website in internet, then at that time WSEA file is used. Web server gateway interface file we have to use. It is mandatory. So without that, our project cannot run in real time. In production server or internet server, it cannot execute. And here you can see website one is there. Website one is application what we have created now. So you can give any name. And here migrations folder is there. This is used to work with database tables. So when we are creating database tables, then at that time migrations folder is used. Like after few classes, we'll discuss about models. So at that time migrations we are going to use. And here you can see unit is there. To use a folder as a package, then it should have unit underscore underscore unit underscore underscore should be there. So it can be empty or it can have statements. And here you can see admin.py is there. So if you want to access the tables in admin website, like whatever tables we create in website one, if I create table, and in admin site if I want to access, and if I want to add records, view record, edit record, delete record, if I want to do manipulations of our table used in website one, then we have to use admin site. Admin site we have to use it. See about the ASGA file we'll discuss in detail, because here we are discussing about Ajax functionality like implementation. At that time we'll discuss about what is Ajax, how it will works. Okay, that we'll discuss. Okay. And now I'm just telling only definitions. So here admin.py is there. So it is used to access our tables in admin site. So in admin site, what we can do is we can add record for the table, viewing record, editing record, deleting record, all these we can do it. And here you can see apps.py is there. So apps.py means it is used to specify which application to run or which application to execute. So we may use many applications, but we can specify which application to execute and which application to run. So according to that, we can configure the site. And here you can say models.py is there here. So models.py means it is used to create classes. So models.py works as a data access layer, or it will works as a repository layer. Okay. So data access layer or repository layer means it will take the data from views.py and it will send the data to the database. So when we are working with models.py, we'll create a class. So that class is converted to table in the database. Then sending the data, accessing the data, all this is done. Okay. So when we are working with database tables, models.py is used. Models.py works as a data access layer, or it will works as works as repository layer. And here test.py is there. It is used to work with to work with testing, unit testing. So whenever you want to generate the test cases, and after that, if you want to check the test cases, like which are successfully executed, which are failed, or which are in process, then test.py is used. Test.py is used for unit testing, checking page by page, and it is used to write the. It is used to simplify the testing process, like whatever lengthy process is there, that is reduced here. And here you can see views.py is there. So in views.py, we are going to create functions, that those functions will show the templates like HTML files. So views.py works as a business access layer or service layer. So it is used to access the data from the, it is used to take the data from the template or HTML file, or it is used to take the data from the application website, and it will store the data. So business access layer or service layer, what it will do, it is used to store or used to maintain the data given in the application, or used to maintain the data given in web pages. So in views, we can see two types here: function-based views and class-based views are there. Function-based views means here we have to create functions. Class-based views means in views.py we are going to create classes. And here you can say manage.py is there. With this, we'll get another file, db.sqlite3. So when I run the server, that file is created. Okay, so server is executed, no need to open in the browser. Okay, then here you can see this. Here you can see db.sqlite3. This file is created. So in Django project, default database is SQLite 3. So SQLite is the default database. Then the file is created. Like when we discuss about databases, then I'll tell what is SQLite, then how to install, then what are the commands we can execute. We'll see how to work in SQLite environment. Okay, then commands execution, all these we'll discuss. Okay, and here manage.py, these two are project level, not application level. See, all these are application project level only. ASGI settings, URLs, WSGI, all these are project level files. And here you can see init, admin, apps, models, test, then views is there. No, all these are application level. They are in the application. They are in website. And DB, SQLite3, manage.py, all these are project level files here. These are project level. Okay. So because manage.py is used in all the applications, it is in all the websites it is used. So when we see the code in manage.py, here you can see if underscore underscore name equal to underscore underscore main function. So in Python and in Django, main function is there. So main function is entry point for the program. Program execution starts with main function. Okay. So name, this is a property and this is also property. So name property is always main. It is always true only. So in that case, what we can do, we can execute main function. In Python, in Django also main function is there. So here we are creating a main function in manage.py. In manage.py, main function is created. Okay. And we are calling like this, with if condition we are calling. So when main function is executed, then your website, your project will run in browser. So now here in views.py, So here I'll use one class here, Django, django.http. Then import HTTP response. Okay. So Django is the project and Django is the package, HTTP is the module, and HTTP response is the class. It is the class here. And in Django, when we are working with Django website, when we send the request, that request is called HTTP request. And when we get the response, that response is called HTTP response. Yesterday I've told the website, Django website runs with HTTP protocol. If it is running with HTTP protocol, request is HTTP request, response is HTTP response. Then here I'll say def function 1, then request. So here I'm writing Python code. So def function 1. So def keyword we are using to create function. Then request is the argument we are giving. It is used to give the response to the client. It is used to give the response to the browser. Client means browser. Then here I'll say return HTTP response. So function returns value. So while returning the value, we are using constructor. So in constructor, we are giving like this h1. Here I'm using welcome to durgasoft is given here. Like this I'm giving. So to increase the font size, I'm using h1 here. Any tag we can use. Okay, so here I'm giving like this is a constructor of HTTP response class. So this constructor is taking one argument, that is string argument. So in Python here also, like in when we write Python code, constructor name and class name is same. Okay, constructor is created with init and it is called with the class name. Like this is given here. And now to call this function in urls.py, we are writing the code here. In urls.py, here I'll write from website 1, then import views. From website 1 application or package, we are importing views.py because in views.py, we have created a function. Okay, so here I'll write path, then function 1. This is URL pattern. This I should type in browser. Then here I'll say views.function 1. So in a browser, when I type function 1 in views.py will execute and it gives a response. So this whatever application we are using, we can include in with other applications. So in beginning examples, including the name is not mandatory. While working with models, while working with tables, it is mandatory. So file save all the files wherever we wrote the code, it will say file save all. So now again running the server. So here you can see HTTP 127.0.0.1 Yesterday I've given explanation for this. 127.0.0.1 means it is the IP address of the localhost, because the browser will communicate with the web server in the same system, or client will communicate with the server in the same system here. Browser and web server. Client means browser. Server means web server. So web server is a software or an application used to store and to run the websites. And here 8000 is a port number. So port number is a memory location where client and server will communicate, and data is transferred between them. Okay. So here while working with this application, while working with port number, we can run this server in different port numbers. Yesterday we have seen instead of 8000 we have used a 2020. So it is working. Okay. So now opening in browser. So 127.0.0.1, then 8000 slash function 1. So in urls.py, whatever pattern is given, we are using. This will execute function 1. Here you can see this heading. So here if I do any changes, let us say here I am doing changes in urls.py. So here I'll say, here I am using index. So index is a URL pattern. This will invoke function 1. URL pattern and the function names can be different. There is no rule like they have to be same. Now index is given, file save. If you do any changes, no need to stop the server and no need to start the server. So it will reload automatically. In old versions of Django, we used to do that. But now, if I do any changes, automatically server will reload. It will update the changes. So here, if I use function 1, it is not there. It is showing index is there. Like this, it will work. So when I type index, it is adding slash here. So this slash we are getting from middleware services, like some small so they'll do the given task, adding slash at the end for the URL pattern. Like that it will work. So like many other things are there, which is done. So like this we are doing it. So this is these are the basics for today. So today I've told about creating virtual environment, then working with installing Sublime, and I've told about the files in the project, files in the application, all this. So here I'll stop the server now. So to stop the server, use Control C, then cd dot dot. Okay, so coming out from the project. After exit from the project, if you want to come out from the virtual environment, then my-env, then scripts, deactivate. So coming out from the virtual environment. Okay, so here that's all for today. So I've told all these basics, and tomorrow I'll continue with the examples, like working with creating multiple functions, then working with application URLs. Other examples are there. So we'll see all one by one. So if you are already registered for the course, then today I will send you the notes and videos to your mail IDs. Like anyone registered for the course? So if you are registered for the course, then I will send you the notes and videos I'm going to send to your mail IDs. Okay, please talk to online team, register for the course. Okay.